What is up with the squad? It's Cess, your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies in the building with my favorite ladies, the Baseline Brunch panelists. What is good? What is good? We coming at y'all today with a recorded episode. Could not be with y'all live today, so we wanted to make sure that we still gave y'all all our feedback for the week. Welcome in. Getting this recorded in High Life. Brittany, Kamish, what's good, y'all?
Good afternoon.
Hello.
What's good, ladies? Okay, so we getting this recording done for Saturday. We know that this week is the big Battle of SC, so we gonna get to the Battle of SC, but we gonna build to that a little bit. We gonna build to that because there's been a lot of other little games going on, a lot of other games going on, a lot of college hoops stuff. Let's jump into it. Let's jump into it. I want to start with the NC State Southern Cal game. I want to start with the NC State Southern Cal game because that has such a big impact on the poll, the AP polls. They act like Southern Cal beat UConn or somebody, like they knocked off the champ, didn't they? The way they moved them up in the polls. I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let's talk about it. Y'all thoughts?
We talking polls or we talking the game? Or we talking the poll within the game?
Can y'all refresh me? How far out did they go on the polls? I'm over here.
Didn't they jump like 10 spots?
Yeah,
like a healthy number.
They came into like the top 10.
The top 10. They're number 8 or 9, whatever their number is.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I mean, let's talk the game. And then help me understand if you see why what they did in the game that warranted this jump. I think that's what I'm trying to understand. I didn't see it like that. Let's talk the game. I mean, it was a good win for them, but 1 point closeout, Jazzy. That was a good, especially for the freshmen. But it wasn't like, oh, they're here now to win the Big Ten. I didn't walk away from that game like that. What y'all thoughts? Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't either. I think, though, maybe what is ringing in people's mind is that they thought they were Juju or bust. Now it's just another J to me, Jazzy or bust. But okay. I think maybe what people, I didn't have high expectations for Southern Cal this year. I thought they'd be like in the 20s, right? Like finish maybe 20 to end the season, 25, whatever. That's kind of where I saw them. But maybe because they beat NC State and people are high on NC State, that therefore them beating NC State catapulted them. I still don't quite see that way, but that's what the pollsters did. I will say, I think, yeah, they showed a little bit more than what I thought. I was like, okay, maybe they're going to be a little bit better than I thought they were going to be. But I think a general conversation or theme is like, it's still early in the season, right? And like, these are not finished products. So I think the catapulting to me, like my philosophy is more like, you have to show me to get your ranking. And well, let me pause there. That is just my philosophy. And so for me, jumping 10 spots for beating NC State, which NC State had a similar trajectory or outcome of the game versus Tennessee. The only difference is they won. To me, I don't think they haven't shown enough for me to catapult someone that high. But again, I think
Were you high
all the
on NC
rankings are
State?
flying. I was not that high on NC State. No.
Okay. Did you
I
have them in
like
the
them. I don't
20s?
know
What
if
did
I
you
would say I
what did
was
y'all think?
high
Go
on them, but I did pick NC State to win that game. So
Which
but, you
game?
know.
Tennessee or
No,
SoCal?
the NC State versus USC game.
SoCal.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I picked
I
them.
was
I
gonna
picked them
just
to win
keep doing
too.
it.
I picked them to win too, but I
I
thought
did.
they
Oh
were
yeah, I
good.
thought NC State was going to win. Like I said, I wasn't high on Southern Cal. So for
Oh
me, yeah. So for me, it was just more that. But like, if you're asking me, was I high on NC State in general? I wasn't that high on NC State. It doesn't mean they
And
can't
that's what
get
I wanted
there.
to know because I was
Yeah.
high on them coming in. Once I saw the core four together, and understood Camille Pierre's, paying to play basketball, that made me feel like they were a little bit more hungry, right? And they were going to be there. So I feel like the ACC is wide open. But you guys go ahead, Brittany, jump in. What are your thoughts?
Kind of similar to what you guys said. I don't care for the poll. I really don't care to watch the poll flip and flop every week, just because most of the time the drops and the gains are just crazy, and they don't make sense. So they would have to make it make sense to me to make me understand how Southern Cal beating NC State bumps them up 10 spots. So that alone was just crazy. But the game in itself, that was a game that NC State should have won.
Mm-hmm.
You're up 5 points in like the last minute or two. And actually they went up like 11 or 13 in the fourth quarter. You have to close that game. And what do they proceed to do in like the last 5 minutes of the game? Just turnovers. Turn the ball over, bad shots. And because they did that for Southern Cal, they just hung around. They said, okay, we're going to hang around. We're going to keep pushing. Let's see if we can get a basket. Let's see if we can get a stop. And then going to have to make me understand, what sense did it make to go under on screens for London Jones? Make it make sense. What was the scouting report? Like, what did y'all rehearse? Because if y'all's plan was, okay, when it comes to London, we're going under screens, yeah, you got shot for it. Because throughout the game, where London actually should have made more threes than she did, because they were consistently going under screens. She should have popped them about 30 points with how they didn't pay attention to detail. So London was bound to make a three in those closing minutes because you kept going under screens, and some of them she was just missing. And so London Jones ends up popping you for a three. Boom. So instead of you being up 5, you're up 2. And then so closing minutes, I think Westmore on the rebound in the last couple seconds, he should have called a timeout once you got the rebound. Because they almost turned the ball over in the backcourt.
It could have almost been a backcourt violation. They ended up fouling, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was like, Westmore, why didn't you call a timeout on the rebound?
Well, start with the beginning of the sentence. What did you say again?
What, that Westmore didn't call
Westmore.
Right there.
Westmore. Start and stop right there.
Wow, okay.
Westmore.
And it's crazy because going into the fourth quarter, he still had all these timeouts. There were several times within the fourth quarter where he should have called a timeout to get them back on schedule. Like, hey, I understand we're up 11 and like we're excited and all this stuff, but we still need to stick with the program. We can't turn the ball over. Like,
Is that bad game management, or is he trying to be old school? Like, I just let him play through it.
I just don't think he's that good of a coach. This is why when we
Oh.
had the
Yeah.
preseason discussion, I
Mhm.
said I don't trust Wes Moore. That's why I'm not high on NC State. It's not the individual players, it's Wes Moore. He hasn't shown me enough adjustments he's made. You always love to say, point me to a moment, a Wes Moore moment.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't have one. I don't have one. Now,
Yeah.
I love it.
and that's valid. And what I had to say about Wes was this: it was like, man, okay, Wes, maybe I have to give you some respect, because I wasn't putting any respect on your name, because in my opinion, what you got in Sanaya Rivers was a polished product that came from, Don. You got the national champion that came from Don. So I'm not giving you credit for that development. But when I saw what Zaza did also in the dub, it was like, okay, shit, Wes, you must be doing something over there. Got to give you some credit for something, because they both showed up ready to play in the WNBA. Now, I don't know enough about Zaza. Maybe Zaza was just a polished product already too, and Wes just lucked up. I don't know. But now, Wes, you got four dogs. You got to figure this out. You got to show me something this year, Wes.
You do.
Now we got Big Draco say, hey, give Wes his time. This is what Wes do. Wes bakes. His food ain't gonna be ready till March. But by March, they'll be ready. They're gonna lose some games. They're gonna look terrible. Zam, I don't think Zam will miss those free throws again. Zam looked pissed at the end of the game, and Camille Pierre looked pissed at the end of the game. And if I'm paying to go to school and you getting NIL money, it's gonna be some furniture moving in the locker room if I feel like everybody ain't showing them to do their job. See, I'm paying to be here. So it's gonna be a different type of conversation for me.
Yeah.
So I want to see how this thing balances out. Go ahead.
But to that point, yeah, that's fair. We can look at historical and say, oh, eventually they figure it out. But that's the players, that's not the coach. And that's my problem. The coach will not get them to that next level, because the coach itself has not proven that. To me, that's the players.
Do we know anything about his assistant coaches? I was
don't
gonna ask
know
a question about. Okay, I don't know enough about
know
them.
yeah, I don't know nothing about his
I
assistant.
don't know enough about them, so I'm not gonna go there. Okay.
I'm
But
just looking at history, right?
But the fact that we don't know any of his assistant coaches.
Well,
says a
actually,
lot
that's
of
not
things
true.
too.
That Kelly, hands on knees was with Wes at some point.
No, I mean now.
Oh,
Like,
well, I'm just telling you that she was on his staff at some point.
That wasn't.
Use that as evidence if that helps you in any capacity. That's all I'm saying.
In any capacity.
That's not fair. That wasn't fair. I wasn't going out. That was not the direction that I was taking the
just
conversation.
answer questions.
And then you was like, yeah. Oh wait, Kelly, hands on these. Come on, that wasn't a good lead in right there. That definitely wasn't.
They call her hands on knees for a reason.
Hey,
Kelly and her
knees, man.
Kelly and her husband were on his staff at some point.
Okay.
Are they a package deal?
Yes. What do you mean?
Wow.
I had to make sure my babysitter with me. What?
They said for better or for worse, and that includes the basketball court.
Absolutely. And,
can I just say real quick on Zam?
Go ahead.
I am so like, here's my thing. Yes, she was in foul trouble, but the little minutes she did play, she impressed me. She's really grown since last year, and I'm super excited to see her to come off the bench like that and hit that three like that. Not only that, like I said, I see her growth in just a little bit of time, her passing, a little bit of leadership. Like I'm excited to see her, and I'm happy to see what she has done so far. Like that game to me, because she was in foul trouble, showed me a lot about her.
Okay.
I don't know. Highlight for me, it's like, hey, did you grow, or I didn't see enough yet? Because you weren't on the floor a lot last year, right?
Yeah,
like,
I feel
to
like
me, I'm like, dang, this is the Zam I expected. Like, okay, Zam. So here's the thing. Remember the first time I saw Zam and Zoe together? I said, oh, hey, forget all the rest of them. This is gonna be the Zam Zoe Zaya show.
You were
Zam
saying
Zoe Zaya. That was what I was looking for, and it never turned into Zam Zoe Zaya. So now I'm like, okay, Zam, this is 1 year later. They're gone now, and now it's the Zam, Zoe, and the crew. But this was what I expected from Zam. So I hear what you're saying, but I don't know if it's the growth I see, or if it's just this is the expectation that I had, and I didn't see it.
And I didn't have that of her. I really wasn't even a fan of her, to be honest. So from seeing a little bit that I seen.
Oh no, I think I did. I think I got a Zam. I think I got a Zam video.
No, yeah, I know, but to be honest, it was because of you I really even knew anything about her. So the little bit of me I have watched of her, and now seeing her this year, I'm excited to see her. I think in your case, I think she will give you what you expected out of her and more.
So either
I'm
that or
hoping
she's
that
gonna
for
get in the
you
portal.
and her.
Either that or she's gonna get in the portal.
Yeah,
Because if it's
Really?
like,
people in the
if it's
portal.
like, well,
Is
yeah,
this
hell
her
yeah,
junior
because
year, right? Or no?
no, Zam is just a sophomore, right?
Sophomore?
Zam is a sophomore.
Really?
So just like Kamish said, listen, if this is about West, Zam is here to be a winner. She didn't come to college not to try to play for a national championship.
Right.
That's what I think.
So you say
yeah.
that, right? You say that, right? So is she gonna go on a team to where, oh, I got to be a starter, or I got to do this? Because if you
I don't
really
think
want to
that's who
play
Zam
for a
is.
national championship, you're gonna go to a team that's gonna get you there.
See, no, I don't think that's who Zam is. I don't think that's who Zam is. I could see Zam as a Gamecock.
Ooh, okay.
I could see Zam as a Gamecock.
Not
I
with
think
them
that,
shot selections.
nope, but being a Gamecock helps her with her. Being a Gamecock fixes her shot selection, which is something that she needs to get to the next level.
But does she want that? We don't know. I don't know the kid, right?
We don't know. We don't know. What I'm saying, just from what I'm seeing from her as a player, and what I like about her, I think that at the end it's about winning for her. Zam doesn't come off like I'm the star. Zam doesn't come off like look at me. Zam
comes off as a dog. I'll give her that. Yeah.
Yeah. Zam come off like let's go get the win. What we going to win?
Yeah.
Yeah. What we going to do to win? Because see, I'm gonna get mine because I'm Zam. I'm gonna get mine. So if y'all get y'all's wherever y'all at, as long as we win. But she's gonna do it within the game. That's how the kid comes across to me. I can see her as a Gamecock. Go ahead.
Okay, well then if you say that, then if she do go on the portal, she should be going to a team where she gonna compete.
Oh, I would see Zam at a UConn, a South Carolina. Like, yeah, if she in the portal to some place that's gonna play for a national championship for sure. My bad, Commissioner. Go ahead.
No, you're cool. We're having a like I think I'm not that high on Zam, but that's not because I don't think she's super competitive. I agree with you, High Life. Her coming off the bench after those being in foul trouble, cold, and just like hit a dart, right? Like that's she was ready. She's a competitor, and that I like. I tend to not like the NC State guards, right? Like I tend not to like that style that Wes has them play. It's very guard centric. It's a very guard, and by the way, that's part of the reason why I think they also lost. They were too guard centric. Zoe and Zam, to me, were not playing to the advantages that their team had versus Southern Cal. And Triger wasn't getting featured enough. Their other big, her name is escaping me, but I thought both of them had advantages inside that they just didn't play to, even when Zam was out of the game, right? It just, when Zam was out, it felt like it turned into some version of, Pierre. It turned into some version of Zoe's turn and then Camille feeling like it was her turn. And I felt like she got good positioning, but then would do these fadeaways that were just unnecessary.
Yes.
And was making the shots. Yeah, was making the shots way harder than they needed to be. I was like, girl, you right there, just go up, simple. But it was like a turnaround, one-legged Asia Wilson fade. And I was just like, that is not working for you today. What was working when Pierre got there was layups. A couple times she did miss, but at least like going strong to the basket, I thought was more of her bread and butter. So I just felt like that's why I'm challenged by Wes. Yes, some of these guards are good, but I think inherently who chooses to go to those programs and how they allow them to play, it's not my cup of tea. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, when I was watching them, I think Camille did a great job on the boards. She was all over the boards. But I do think with Camille, I think she missed a lot of putbacks, and I was very confused. I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "What?" I was like, "What's going on?" I don't remember this being a thing at Vanderbilt. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think there was a couple times where I was like, "Okay, what's going on? Missing the putbacks? Okay, cool, whatever." But I also think that there's a couple times where she would fight for position, and then they would give her the ball, but she would have to lose her spot on the block. So now she's coming out, and now she has to fight back to get position to get the bucket. And I was like, all right, come on, y'all. Y'all do have to give her some better passes so that she doesn't have to keep, all right, I'm putting in all this work to get position, and then now you done got me the ball, and now I got to go back to fighting because I lost it because you didn't give me a good pass. But yeah, they should have won that game. I understand. All right, Zoe had it going end of the third quarter, just about all game, to be honest, but especially end of the towards the end of the third, going into the fourth, Zoe just couldn't miss. If Zoe wanted to get to the basket, Zoe was getting to the basket. She was getting the and ones. And so I think once that happened, I think everyone just started to stand and watch. It was like, oh, okay, like, oh, all right, she got it. And it's like, hey, all right, yes, she got it, but y'all do know that y'all won't be able to just use her. If the plan is, all right, we just gonna let Zoe go one-on-one this entire fourth quarter, you're not gonna win. And Zam came in, and then she got some buckets, but then they just eventually just lost it. And it was like, okay, turnovers, and it just fell apart for them when it shouldn't have. So I would love for Wes. I understand if he lets them play through it, but I think you can't let them play through it every single time. At some point, as a coach, you have to say, all right, I'm calling a timeout so we can regroup. And he should have did that, and he didn't. And what did they do? They ended up losing.
This is going to sound like a hot take. Well, two things. I guess they're both hot takes. One, the same mentality is what existed in the Tennessee game. They just happened to win it. Yep. Somehow Wes Moore outcoached Kim.
Yeah.
One. Two, the other thing is I just find it lazy coaching. Like, you're not actually coaching. You're just letting them go out there and do their thing. Like, are you coaching, or are you just allowing them to play? Like, at what point are we looking at the person who's in charge, whose job it is to coach, if you just roll the ball out and say, just do whatever? Because part of the issue, like you said, like, Zoe was getting hers and was feasting, but why was the game close? Because they couldn't stop them on the other end of the floor.
Yep.
So what are you doing? Like, your scout clearly was shit, because London Jones will dot you. Like, that was, and she's a senior. So there's no explanation of, oh, she transferred from UCLA. Well, that she played the same exact way. Like, nothing was different. She can shoot. You cannot go under screens on her. Like, that was a problem. Jazzy's known enough. She ended up being the #1 recruit. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? I just am flabbergasted, either like the focus on defense or lack thereof, but then we're just like letting people do whatever on offense. Like, I guess no, thank you. No, thank you.
Y'all want to know a crazy stat? They out rebounded USC by, I think, like 11 or 12, something like that.
Ooh. I want to come back to rebounding. I have a rebounding thing. Go ahead, keep going.
They came back, but yes, you out rebounded them by 11, but you also turned the ball over 18 times. That's something they didn't do against Tennessee. Tennessee, they only turned the ball over like 10 times. You're not winning a game turning the ball over 18 times unless you just are shooting incredibly well and just can't miss.
Yep. On the rebounding thing, the scheme they were running, so they wanted to they purposely kept people back to get the rebound. But I don't understand why you needed to do that versus SoCal. I don't think they're that. I don't think they're that tall. Yes, their wings and some of their guards are a little bit, but I just felt like you overplayed that aspect of the game to the detriment of yourself. From a strategic standpoint, I didn't think that made sense.
And then the crazy part is, so how are you going to do in the second half? You're only going to send Camille for the offensive rebounds. Okay, cool, whatever. You're going to send her for the boards. You're telling everybody to get back. But then you don't get back.
Correct.
What was it defeats
That's
the
it.
purpose.
It defeats the purpose. That's why I was like, the scheme didn't make sense. It didn't make sense.
Like, there was literally no reason why Southern Cal should have beat them. But you turned the ball over, you didn't defend well enough, and you just took bad shots. And SoCal said, okay, since they're going to let us hang around, okay, let's see what we can do. I do think I liked that coming out in the second half that Southern Cal told Jazzy, hey, go get to the bucket. We're not just going to shoot jumpers. So I like that they kind of let her. I think there was a time or two where they put her on. They might have brought her to the elbow and then brought a screen and then let her go to work to get downhill. There's a couple times that because she came out aggressive to start the second half, it made NC State say, okay, we got to change this. Because, all right, she's just getting to the bucket. She got to the bucket, I think, her first 2 times. And then
including the final play that had
exactly.
them
up. And how did that happen?
The final play blew me. Ain't no way.
It's like she went a back door on her own. I don't even I wish we can play that. I wish we can play that play and talk about that. Like,
the crazy part about it was you could have just switched the screen. Just switch it. Because I think it was
I was just about to say, who else was over there?
It was Zoe. Was it Zoe?
Yeah, Zoe got caught on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Zoe got caught on the screen. That was it. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, why would you not tell them, hey, if like just switch it on the screen, just switch it, we will be okay. And
there's definitely some stuff that they can learn from. And that's what I want to see. Like, where does this game? Where do they grow from this game? With the way that they lost the game, where do they grow from this game?
And the sad part about it is, I think they'll figure it out, but it won't be because of their coach.
Right. They have enough talent. That's why when we did our preview for the ACC, we said Duke and NC State. I lean Duke, which we'll see, but I lean Duke for that. But I also said I could see NC State, but this is exactly why.
So, unless y'all got something else for NC State, USC, no. Let me not say USC. Nope. Here we go. Let me make this announcement for the commission. Southern Cal. Okay, let me make this announcement before I get in trouble. USC is the University of South Carolina. Southern Cal is Southern Cal, because the commission has spoken. So let me make sure I get that correct. I want to move on to another Southern Cal team. UCLA, Oklahoma, the Battle of the Bigs.
Was it the Battle of the Bigs?
Ooh, I was left underwhelmed. That's what I was about to say. I was left underwhelmed. Popcorn got cold and everything. You know, you have it hot and ready to go. Like, it's gonna be good, perfect, salt, butter, ready to go. And then nothing ever happens that makes you want to get some popcorn. That's how they never made me want to have any popcorn. I was very disappointed, bro. What the hell happened? What happened? Was I expecting too much? Y'all thoughts? Because it didn't go how I thought it was gonna go. Sheesh.
I think a couple things are at play, and clearly others jump in. We can give a lot of our thoughts. I do think the guards on both teams underutilized their bigs. I also was just disappointed individually in some of the bigs' performance when they did get the ball and where they got it. I thought sometimes they rushed it or they brought the ball down when they shouldn't. Yeah, like that's big 101. You can't do that.
Say it again, Commish. Jeez, say it again.
You can't bring the ball down when your advantage is up in the sky. Which also ties to some of the guards. Why are you passing the balls at the knees of your 6'7" big? Or 6'5", I think is Reagan sometimes. Ball placement, Jesus.
It's like they never played with a big.
Jesus be an entry pass. Like the skill and the art of an entry pass is just blowing me that we
Lost.
have. Like, why is it so lost? Everybody want to play positionless hoops, but when your advantage is down low, you got to get that pass right. You got to get it above their numbers and above. So that was part of the challenge. And then I thought, quite frankly, the guards were playing, I want to be guard you. It's a big matchup. Let me get mine. Let me
Right.
get off. Like, so it was, honestly, I thought in some capacity that was selfish hoops too. So I just was underwhelmed by both teams and what they were doing. Clearly at the end, Neekins came through. Was it Legger Walker? She had some good shots. I honestly,
You know what my question is?
everybody who was marquee, I was disappointed in. Let me name names: Kiki
Okay, please,
Rice,
let's go.
Lauren Betts, Reagan Beers, Chavez.
Let's talk about the city of Norman.
The four of them I thought were some of the worst performing people who touched the floor the entire night. At
Wow.
least versus
for real.
expectation. Yeah, either absolutely they were underwhelming, or versus expectations they were underwhelming. Beers, maybe the three seniors, I would say versus their expectations, like you're getting ready to go in the dub, and then Chavez just,
Hey,
yeah.
I almost feel bad for Beers because it looked like all of the it looked like all of the growth and just tell me if I'm wrong. It looked like all of the growth that Beers was able to show at FIBA. That was FIBA basketball, right?
The America Cup.
America,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
When
No,
I
I
saw
think
the
it's,
America,
yeah.
um, and maybe it was just with the quality of guards that she played with. I was excited to see what she was going to do. And so I almost feel bad for her that she's trying to finish out her senior year strong with a freshman that's trying to figure out how to play college basketball and how to play off the ball and how to fit in. Like, I almost felt bad for the kid. I don't know. You guys tell me. The Beers that I saw for America, I didn't get to see that Beers show up. And part of that was definitely Reagan Beers, right? Part of that was definitely just Reagan. But part of that too, to me, was just like, yo, are y'all on the same page, City of Norman? Are y'all in the same city of Norman? I don't know. Let me know.
And the crazy
There's
part,
a couple things. Go ahead, Brittany.
the crazy part is, I think they were concerned about Reagan foul wise. Okay, whatever, cool.
She's a
But like,
hack.
Hopper only took 7 shots. She only took 7.
But part of that was because she was on the bench.
Bro,
Foul.
true, she played 24 minutes. She only had 7 shots. But the crazy part is when she was on the floor, they looked better. When she was on the floor.
Oh,
So
definitely. When she left the floor, they fell
it
apart.
was, yes, it was no. So it was, they just, I don't know why they just like to make the game harder than what it needs to be.
Yes.
Give Reagan the ball and just play through Reagan. It's not that hard.
Because but first thing, there's so many things at play here. Oh gosh, where to start? So when we had our preview, our first baseline brunch, right? You recall the conversation about Oklahoma. If Oklahoma plays through Reagan, they can be more dangerous than what they are. Yeah. But I didn't have the belief that they would do it. Now they could still do it, but knowing their coach, watching her play the way they played last season and seeing thus far how they've come in, I don't see it. I also don't see them correcting. To this point, I don't see anybody correcting Chavez.
Nope.
Chavez shot tour dates.
4 for 16.
Tour dates. Like, tour dates. This is your second game in the NCAA, and we have watched her shoot tour dates back to back. First was Belmont. You just happened to win. And by the way, the reason why you won is y'all went back to Reagan. And then again, against UCLA, we have not seen a change of philosophy, a change of style. And quite frankly, I think that's exactly why Chavez, her final teams or her final schools, even though South Carolina was listed, even though she never came on a visit to South Carolina, there's a reason why Texas Tech and Oklahoma were on her list. She wants to play that way. And I don't think Jenny is in a position, and even just seeing how they played last year, that she's going to correct that behavior. That seems to be the way she wants to play. So therefore, back to the feeling bad for Reagan. I can't feel that bad for Reagan because this is exactly how they played last year. Unless there was a promise made that we're going to play through you more, but then your new PG is at some point a top 3 recruit. She's coming here but getting paid allegedly $1 million. What do you think she's going to do? She's going to start. So that's going to be your problem. So I have a really hard time saying I feel bad for these people. Not that they deserve it, not because like whatever, but like the writing is on the wall. Like there's nothing that told you that Oklahoma was going to play considerably different unless they didn't start Chavez. But then you look at their team and it's like, well, I think both of their PGs are freshmen or young talent. So like I liked Van and I liked who was that other girl, but I don't know if they're really PGs per se.
They did last year, right? The sisters? Well, one of the
yeah,
sisters?
but one of the older one graduated. But yeah, the other one, Sky, is it Skylar?
That's one of
Someone
the
with
reasons
S.
why I liked
Yeah.
the team last year.
I like Peyton. Peyton is good. I actually thought she was the best player for Oklahoma.
And I didn't think they used her enough. It was
and
like,
they didn't
damn,
use her
Peyton
enough.
came
That
all
was
the
my
way
point.
back. What y'all doing?
It all was
back.
a mess.
Left.
It was a mess. It just is very like, and then I was looking at Jenny and I was like, "You not gonna call a timeout?" Like, huh?
Wow.
Like it was just like forced turnover. We're just running and gunning. We're just YMCA Saturday Planet Fitness runs. Like I don't like that style of hoops. I'm not a fan of it, but it works and it can beat teams. But I think for the development and the skill set of what you have on the floor, you're underutilizing your talent by running that. And like I said, I think it's lazy coaching. You're not actually scheming. You're not actually setting anything up. So.
Yeah. And then, you could go.
No, I literally was just gonna ask one question. Is it Beers or bust?
No, it's everybody but Beers or bust. Apparently.
But they're not gonna do that. Is that what we're saying? Like they're not gonna slow the ball down. They're not gonna play half court. They're
nope. Well, it's not that they could, but just thus far they haven't shown us anything. And seeing how they played last year didn't really show us anything. Yeah. I think when they play against people who don't have bigs, they'll kind of play. They won't even play that way. It will just work out better because there will be no one who can quote unquote stop Beers. I also am of the belief that Beers is a hack, and I think she really is should be fouling out of no, she doesn't play defense. Like back to her Oregon State days, like we saw it. I don't think she plays defense. I think it's funny people call other people elbows. She actually throws her elbows a lot. Ooh. She fails a lot. We saw it in this game, by the way.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I'm challenged on that stand front. I do think when she is against smaller players, that skill set is there, but when I think she's against people her size or bigger or potentially more skilled, like you don't really see it come to life. It looks like a lot of flailing, to be honest. That's what I saw. It just felt like a lot of just desperation heaves or flailing. And so for that, I didn't really see her skill set come through in this matchup.
Would y'all believe me if I told y'all that UCLA won? And Lauren Betts had 7 turnovers, shot 1 free throw. 1.
Yep.
9 points.
Yep. That's why it was actually that's why I started naming the other guards around UCLA that ended up stepping up, or at sometimes I thought were to the detriment. Like Lauren Betts, I did think had some like good seals, but they wouldn't pass her the ball. Then like it just created like the weird dynamic. And then Lauren herself, I thought similar feedback about Beers. I thought at times I was like, girl, what are you? I thought it was not her best showing. And I actually had to sit and be like, do I need to reevaluate how I feel about Betts? No, I'm serious. Yeah. I actually
horrible.
I'm not ready to go all the way there because it was one game but I have questions. I don't think that was a good showing for her either. And who I have on our Olympic team, I have to reevaluate if I'm sure that she should be on it. Granted, that's what 3 or 4, whatever years away.
Well, they got to show improve next year.
But yeah, but I'm struggling with that match. That didn't go how I thought it was going to go. I had
you brought this
UCLA
up.
winning.
Let me just ask real quick.
Yeah.
Are you okay with us losing the Worlds?
Hell no. Well,
okay.
It depends who's playing, right? If for some reason, no. I only say that because you got to put a little bit of context. Yeah. Like if for some reason someone's a little banged up and they choose not to play, and I'm not gonna, put no juju on anybody. Juju, not the person, but the vibes. I'm not gonna name names, but if there's a name, you know what I mean, that isn't playing, then I'll be like, you know what, if they're not playing, like I can only expect so much. So it really depends who's there, and it depends who they select on that team. Because if y'all do that BS, I think they're gonna do, and put all these people who shoot and don't defend on that team, we ain't winning.
That part.
Okay.
So it depends on a lot of different things. I'm not. It's we don't have to win, but if we have who I think are our best of the best and we lose, then maybe that's a different conversation.
Do you have bets on that world team next year?
I did. I'm waiting to see more of this season, because I just felt like when she was matched up with someone with equal physicalness, if you will, with her, I felt she shrunk, and that is not what I was expecting. I actually thought it made all her the skills I believe her to have, her footwork, her post moves, they did not come through in that to me. And it made me reevaluate. So I don't know yet. I'm
Beers
trying
in consideration?
to decide. No.
Do you think?
But I've told you that before. I'm not where you guys are on beers. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I believe Betts is more skilled than Beers, even though it didn't quite look like it the other day. But actually, it's still the skill there, but it just didn't convert. But I do have more questions when Betts is now matched, and that's the same feedback I just had on Beers, when she's matched up against someone with equal physicalness as her, or someone who can body her, or someone who won't move off their spot, or someone who is as relatively tall as her. What then? You know what I mean? And so that is where I'm stuck holding my questions.
Yeah. This game was definitely the opposite. Like, if anybody would have said, all right, it was UCLA was going to win this game because Gianna Neepkins was going to have 20 points and Dugalish was going to be UCLA's leading rebounder with 15. Homegirl had a double-double, 16 and 15 off the bench.
Hey, say it again. Dugalich came out of nowhere. It was like, you allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Dugalich. Where did you come from? Nobody was talking about Dugalich at all.
Y'all see Neepkins was cooking. She was cooking Chavez.
Yeah, she got that barbecue.
That's not hard, is it?
She said, yeah, you too small.
No,
she said, you too small.
It's not.
I'm just saying, I've seen some so-called defense. Oh my God, Aaliyah. Oh my God.
Yeah, nah. Neepkins was getting it however she wanted it. If she wanted, look, off the screen, knock it down. If I gotta take it to the basket on you, I'ma do it.
Hit her with that bop.
I wanted her to hit her with the too small. I was like, just tell her she's too small. Just tell her. But she didn't. I was like, girl, you should have told her.
They were still in a slugfest. You can't do too many too smalls because they were struggling on the other end too. But yeah. It's just, honestly, good for Neepkins. I think that's probably, these scouts, everybody was there. So, that's going to stick in these people's mind. It's probably going to elevate her draft stock. She showed up.
You think
she did. Yeah, I think anybody leaving Utah was a good move.
Wow.
Okay. I get it. Why not? I think anybody who's a shooter to go with to play in a program that has the gravity and the defense just gets sucked off of you. It's by the way, which is why I keep emphasizing the in and out play, and the in and out game is actually the smartest way to do it. But she still showed up. So shout out to her. It's no, ill will to the people who stepped up quite frankly, on both sides. I think Oklahoma had people who stepped up too.
Yeah.
But I think at the end of the day, like Oklahoma, I don't know. I don't believe in the coach, their philosophy and how they play, and they don't play defense on top of that. So when shots aren't falling, when fouls aren't getting called, what can you go to?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a good time to kind of segue into.
And no, Kiki Rice. Y'all need to stop telling me about Kiki. No,
Hey,
we're not going to do that.
Somebody at Zoe in the chat, at
Never
Zoe
mind.
Media.
And Kiki's final box score was fine, or points, but you go, and at some point she was shooting toward dates too. She was like 2 for 10 at some point.
4 of 15 was the final. 4 of 15.
What's the final? 4 of 15. And that wasn't until the
Zoe.
game was like clearly out of reach. Like I watched what happened. That's another one who just be throwing the ball at the basket and praying for a foul call.
Look,
Flip it.
you already know how I feel. I don't see it.
Flip it.
And any point guard that's playing with a big like Betts should look fantastic. You should look great. And I don't.
Well, that's the problem right there. You said point guard. She's not a point guard.
Yeah.
She can have the ball in her hands, but she has not exhibited the skill set of a point guard, which is why I'm confused why people keep telling me she's a point guard.
Are we clipping this in the chat? Make sure the chat is doing this when we get there. Sorry. Because what? Come on, man. I'm trying to understand.
Look, they might.
I'm getting off.
They might call her a combo. She a combo.
Yeah, just because people are under a certain height doesn't make like honestly, Kiki is closer to like Dana, Kelsey. I'm not calling her the equivalent of these. I just want to be clear. Kiki is closer to a Dana, a Kelsey Mitchell. I don't think she's as athletic as Ka, who plays 3, but like a Ka, a Slim. But like to me, she's closer to them than she is a Courtney Williams.
Oh yeah. Oh, never gave Courtney Williams. I don't know who that. Sorry, never gave Courtney Williams.
No, but I just mean like you're a slasher. You attack the rim. Like that's probably more of your bread and butter than I would say your actual. And actually, even those aren't even right because Kelsey Mitchell and Dana are more of the scoring variety, closer to Courtney. But I'm just like trying to paint a picture of like. I don't see her as a point guard, and as we've articulated, there's not many point guards that exist. They're getting extinct because people are calling people like this a point guard. That's not a point guard. That's a shooting guard who happens to be under a certain height.
Well, they'll say she's a big point guard. She's 5'11". Okay. Okay.
We can move on now, but I just needed to make sure that got addressed because, again, the marquee names, the people who everybody said are the most watched parts, I thought they were underwhelming in a variety of ways.
Yes, and folks do fall back on that shit combo excuse too much. Exactly. Exactly. So, this is a good time for us to segue into the main part of the show today. The South Carolina Gamecocks. You know what I'm saying? Gamecocks. Listen. Okay. The more I see, the more I'm sure about what I saw. Y'all hear me? I'm going to say that one more time.
Tell us.
The more I see, the more I'm sure about what I saw. Let me explain.
Hashtag African proverb. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. You know, people like to put that on anything.
Yeah, but the more, but remember, if you heard it here, the more I see, the more I'm sure about what I saw. Listen, coming into this season, what I saw was a team that was going to be able to have a lot of versatility, a lot of athleticism, play a lot of defense, create chaos, and that's what I'm seeing. Am I seeing it? I'm not seeing it as consistent as I saw that it's going to be down the line, but I'm seeing it growing right in front of us. And what's crazy is that it's continuing to grow, whether it's whether we 10 deep, whether it's 9 golden nuggets out there, whether we down to 8, whatever is happening, no matter what, somebody is stepping up to figure it out. I'm loving the things that I thought that we would see coming into the season after we saw the off season and the ladies work, the maturity, the people being vocal, the working together. I think what I'm really liking the most right now is that when the play doesn't go right, I'm seeing them talk to each other about, yeah, no, I didn't want that pass right there. I wanted it up higher. I saw Mo, I think it was to Latson, saying, yeah, no, don't bounce it to me right here. Go up higher. I can get it right there and just go up. I like it there. Raven doing some directing. Tessa's super vocal. She's talking more than I've seen her talk. Just the talking and the growth. Even Makir, I'm impressed by the accountability that they're showing for each other, and that's what I thought we would see more of with them being a more, like you said, we graduated from the daycare and they like a full-fledged law firm or something. Everybody all business in there, all professional. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all see, but what I see is what I saw. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think here let me start by making maybe not a preamble, but basically to recall what was discussed when we again did preview the season. I said that I expect bumps and bruises. Some people call that growing pains. We are a newer team as far as the pieces that have been inserted or thrust into the starting spot as a result of either injuries, graduations, all that stuff. We've had to adjust as a team. And with that comes growing pains. But another African proverb, making it up now. But like, basically, you don't learn through everything being easy, right? Like, you have to have some adversity so that you know how to react, you know how to change, you know what to call your teammates out for, you know what you need to step up and do a little bit more. So to me, there's just a lot of voids right now with this team. And I say all this to say, like, we are still a very strong team. Everything you articulated, Auntie, I have on the same side for me. I saw versatility. I see defense as our calling card. And that's why every time you hear me talk about this team, that's what comes first for me, more than everything. Because at the end of the day, when shots aren't falling, as we saw, when you get in a drought, when things aren't quite gelling or working for whatever reason, you can always have your calling card be defense and rebound. That carries. Defense travels. Maybe your shots always don't, but defense should travel, right? And so that's why I keep emphasizing for our team, getting that defense together will be key. Now, I say all that to say, when you have a new team, there's individual defense and then there's collective defense as a team, whether that's help side, whether that's rotations, whether that's recovery. And when you talk about being on a string, that's actually what the team needs to do. But that only comes with time and experience and adversity. So as much as I have feelings about kind of what I'd like to see, like, I think the fact that even our first quarter and our fourth quarter, those were the defenses I wanted to see. But in the middle, it's a little shaky. But the fact that you saw it and we saw it, and that was both our dominant quarters, or at least the start to the first quarter was super dominant, shows me what this team can be down the line. And it's working on those key points until then. I think the other thing to keep in mind is South Carolina, historically, we've had a Leah Boston, a Camilla, we've had an anchor in that back part of the defense, particularly. And right now that's Medina. Medina just started playing basketball in 2020, which, if I recall, was a pandemic year. So, like, if you just think about her maturation and time playing and who she's potentially played under, she probably hasn't had the defensive intensity and focus that she's now being asked to do at a high level at South Carolina. So it's just going to take time. I say that for everyone and partially for myself to remember, like, what we're seeing is a result of her rawness. And it's all, as I mentioned before, our resiliency to adjust and adapt either within games or between games that's going to determine our success in the long run. So I think as long as the team continues talking, the team continues to like listen to what Don's saying and why she's harping on it, and not have, some potential, oh, but we're winning, you know what I mean? Like now I think Don continues to have their attention. And I think hearing Joyce and Tessa talk about it in the post game, I think reiterated those points. So I think they know it. It's just a matter of sometimes gelling just takes time. Like it just takes time. Even the professional setting, it took the Aces, unfortunately, half the season to like start gelling. But in those moments, right, like adjustments are happening. So I think that's just important to keep in mind as we continue to watch. I don't expect this season to go perfect because that's just very, very hard to do. And it's part skill and part luck, right? There's a component of luck to be undefeated. And I don't know why we hold people to the standard of undefeated or unbeatable, right? Like that's not, to me, that's not the goal. The goal is to win the championship. That's it. So get our steps and get ourselves together so that we're playing our best basketball in March and April. That's what I'm keen on. And by the way, this is part of the reason why you schedule the way you do. If you keep playing Our Lady of Mother of Mary every time, you won't see some of these.
Wait, I'm sorry. If they continue to play, who again? What was the name of them?
Our Mother of Mary.
Oh, okay. Sound about right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Our Mother of Mary, John Paul Baptiste III, Paul Mitchell University, Sephora University. Like you won't see Badal Sassoon. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna see some of these things. It's gonna be all hunky dory. So I think playing elevated talent kind of exposes these places, shines a light on what we need to fix. And as long as you have the attitude of growing and learning and adjusting and gelling as a team and figuring out what are the things we need to do better. And I actually saw that within the game. I think by the time we got to the fourth quarter, the ball movement was better. Our defensive was better. Like we actually adjusted within the game. And part of that is luckily a coach like Don will insert people who are doing what she wants them to do and will sit people who are not doing what she wants them to do. That's part of coaching, which kind of brings us full circle to part of why, I feel the way I do about certain teams and certain coaching styles. Like Don's not afraid to like put an L up there. She don't like it, but if it gets their attention and gets us to adjust and she gets to learn who she can rely on and trust on in certain moments, that's what we're going to do. And yeah, it would have been great if we scored more than the 60 whatever points. But I also do think it's funny that you beat a team, an in-state rival, another D1 team who, by the way, plays in the ACC by 30 points. And it's like, all sky is falling. Now, I still have my things that I was very irritated about. I'm big on the defense. But if you look at it objectively, like we still did some good things. There's still things we need to watch out and clean up, and film sessions should hopefully be a B today. And everybody should be really looking at it and be really intentional about it, because you can't keep making the same mistakes. You keep putting that on film, other teams will be able to capitalize on it. So I think that's my long and roundabout way. I have specific things we can talk about. I'm sure Brittany or High Life will get into specific moments of the game, but that's kind of my overall perspective.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get into, for the people that feel like the sky is falling, I promise it's not. I promise. Just because they got outscored 11-10 in the third quarter, it is okay. Because what did they do? They responded and went on a 20-2 run in the fourth quarter. I repeat, 20-2. Clemson only scored 2 points in the fourth quarter.
What was the third quarter again?
The third quarter, they lost 11-10, and they turned around in the fourth and outscored them 20-2. Like, I don't.
And I mean, like that too. Like, keep in mind that was 2 free throws. They didn't score a field goal in the fourth quarter.
Like,
they didn't hit a field goal in the fourth quarter. The defense was crazy. Masterclass. Got to go look at it.
Look, y'all want to know something crazy? This reminds me of the time when I was in high school, and we was playing, right? And our coach was so pissed because we scored like 2 points in a quarter. Oh my gosh, the foot stumping. This is high school, bro. The foot stumping and screaming that we got. because we scored 2 points in a quarter. Oh my gosh. So I can only imagine that on a collegiate level and D1 at that. And so like I think people forget that like every game is not going to be a blowout. You're not going to blow out teams every single game. It's not.
Well. It can be a blowout if you play Dyson University.
Look, those should be. Those ones should be, but not a Division I school playing in the ACC. And then I think like Clemson's supposed to be playing like Louisville in like next week or something like that. So like, let's be so for real.
Yeah, they're ACC.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, they're not out here like these are teams that are trying to compete, trying to get better every day and go win. And that's not a diss to any non D1 or any low D1 schools.
But Brittany, one ad, isn't this the same Clemson? I know it's signing day, so things are changing in real time, but isn't this the same Clemson that at one point this week had the #1 signing class?
Yes.
Okay, so they can't be, you know what I mean? Like people need to, yes, it's Clemson, trust me. All of us want to beat the shit out of Clemson. Don't worry. But like to your point, like people act like it's okay. Like it's okay. Like learn from it. We still won, thank God, and we still figured some things out, thank God. But like it's okay.
It's just like the grinded out games. Those are good games. Like you were saying, they need it because every game you're not gonna blow them out. Some games it's just gonna be like, hey, we go on the long run. What's the job at the end of the day? Win by a point. That's it. That's all you got to do. Win by 1 point. And so these type of games are games where you learn a lot about your team because they didn't shoot necessarily well, especially in the third quarter because they was on like a drought, like a 6-minute drought. And for some teams, all right, if we ain't shooting today, if my shots ain't falling, what the heck you want me to do? You want me to play defense? I ain't doing that. But this team said absolutely not. Just because, all right, shots ain't falling, that's cool. But what we will do, we're gonna go play defense. Because the defense is one thing that defense will travel. Your shots may not travel. Your threes, like all that, it might not travel. But what will travel is your defense. There is no excuse for a night in and night out for you to not go play defense. And that's what this team relied on. They said, hey, the shots weren't going. We're just going to rely on our defense. Yes, there were times where there were defensive lapses. That's fine. And then the other part about it is, I know I see people talking about, oh, well, why are they doing all this switching? They need to stop doing all this switching. They need to stop doing all that. There is a reason. Because the honest truth is when you play a team like UConn, they will force you. You're gonna have to know how to switch defensively. Yes, it may not look pretty right now because it's the beginning of the season. But I promise by the end of the season, when they want to do when they're switching and when you're seeing them lock up teams can't go anywhere. Teams just getting shot clock violations. And then the other thing about it is, like last night, they blocked. They had like.
Look at y'all. Yeah, that's what I had.
Blocks.
That's what I had on my thing. Yeah,
that's okay. You go next. You go next.
No,
about the blocks.
It's crazy. Y'all literally speaking on. I had blocks written down the defense and what Kamish said. How we literally grew within the game. Like I love that showed growth. I'm sorry, coaching. Like a lot of coaches don't do / can't do / won't do. However you want to say it. But yes, blocks coming from our guards, like what we have 10, 11 blocks, like
they had 10 blocks. And let me tell you, most of those blocks were coming off of blocking 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Hey, and a lot of them was southpaw blocks. Southpaw. They was catching them with them left hands so nasty.
Like those joints is not easy. So
you know, one thing I would like to see us add back is just that dominant third quarter start. Like I would like to see us add that back to our calling card. That, you know what I'm saying? Let's just get back to like right after the half. let's not give people breathing room. I think we come back after the half sometimes like we don't got to lock in right now. I want to see us get back to like, hey, just all gas, no brakes. Let's go ahead and finish this
I
off
think
early.
I think there's reasons for that. I'll get back to it to let or I put a mark for us to get back to that if Brittany and High Life don't address it. But I have reasons. I have thoughts for why that is happening.
Okay.
Go ahead, keep going, Brittany, or High Life, whoever was going.
Nah, that's Brittany. Go ahead.
Yeah, one thing that I am interested in, I'm interested in seeing how as the season progresses. I'm looking at the minutes. The starters played 30. Tessa played 35. Tanaya 34. Medina played 25. So I'm looking to see, okay, how is this as the season goes? What are their minutes going to look like? And just because I think some of the defensive lapses, especially throughout the game, in the middle of the game, second, third quarter, I think some of that is fatigue. Because, and especially for a big like Medina, it's like, hey, you're constantly Clemson. One thing that I will say that Clemson did a lot of movement. Everybody was moving. There wasn't a time. There wasn't often where guards and even bigs could just sit like, all right, you're just sitting in hell and you're not doing a lot of movement. Yeah, no, they were constantly moving. So for for the bigs, up to y'all, because I know like that all game, constantly moving, dealing with switches, because I guess they was like, yeah, we're gonna attack the bigs, which is what they should do for Clemson. But yeah, the bigs played well when they had to deal with their with the pick and roll. There were lapses in times, but overall they did well. Like it was a lot that they had to do defensively, because most of the time, like how many teams are out here asking their bigs, like, yeah, I need you. You need to go out there. You need to be prepared to switch. You need to be moving them puppies. Them puppies was moving last night. From the bigs to the guards, them puppies was moving. And so I think some of the defensive lapses was fatigue. Because the other part about it, they wasn't playing minutes like this last season. For the starters, and even coming off the bench, like for Tessa, this is a new thing for them. Playing 30 minutes. They really didn't play 30 minutes last season. So gotta kind of get the conditioning in, get used to it, and or just kind of just get used to because you're playing at a faster pace as well this season. So just it's a process, people. It's okay. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy it, because by the end you'll just be able to see like, wow, the full circle moment to see how this team started to how this team ended. Like that is going to be the best part of it.
I agree. High Life, you got something to add?
No, I don't. I want Commish to go back to that pin that she had that we need to get back to. I'm good. We can.
Yep, because then I got another question. I got another question about a player here. So let's go back to that pin, and then I got another player we're going to talk about.
Okay. Yeah, I think the third quarter start super valid, and to me, it ties into a couple things, like the energy that we come out with. I like the energy we came out with. This game, I think Brittany's points are valid around the minutes and the intensity and the pace in which we're being asked to play, and new roles and unfamiliar. I think like all this stuff is just like part of the gelling process. Like it's just, it may not, again, I said this, when we started Baseline Brunch, like very happy for the people who are South Carolina fans as a result of that undefeated season. But that's not the only way that South Carolina has won a championship. You know what I mean? Like that's actually the anomaly. So, part of basketball is, again, it's a game of runs, and it's how quickly you can stop those runs and revert back to the play style you want to play. It's chess. Like it's chess on a basketball court. Those who play it well and strategically. It's about
who's moving the
angles.
pieces in these games that's being played.
It probably should be your coach or your point guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Your coach and your point guard should be the ones moving the pieces.
Oh, okay.
And so, that's it. Or sometimes you don't have a coach, and that one night is just really good at the night moves, or the castle move, with the in the back, Queen's Gambit, all that stuff.
Yes.
So, I mean, unless you have a player like the Jujus of the world and stuff like that who can they're just so good, and it's such a hard a hard cover for your average college team. Like, for the most part, other than that, you need a good coach, a good point guard, you need a dominant big, and that's what South Carolina is working on right now, is getting all those pieces together. We have the coach, we have the PG. I have thoughts about Raven's effectiveness yesterday, but that's not solely on her. But as a PG, I hold her in high regard and have a high standard for her. And it's not just scoring. Scoring's great, but again, it's getting us in the flow when we need to, and helping the team see what's going on. It's being another coach out there. But again, that's kind of part of the role of being the point guard. But the energy and the gelling and all that, to me, go together. But I agree with the mindset of, like, it'd be good. I think right now we're all trying not to step on each other's toes, is what I'm seeing on the court, even including Latson in this, right? Like, some people are like, Latson needs to be more aggressive, which I don't disagree with. But I also understand, like, part of the reason why she came here is to play with other talented people. And if she always just takes the ball and goes to the rim, then that's really not playing any different. And it's not stretching her and challenging her and figuring out, where's the cross court pass I can hit on Tessa? When is the right time to dump it off to Joyce or to Medina? Where do they like the ball? So that's all part of the maturation and the growing pains and the bumps and bruises that I'm talking about. I think that's why we're seeing it show up in the ways that it's showing up. But they, as a team, need to continue to talk. Communication, until we get humming and that chemistry is all the way there, like, you got to use the communication as a tool to bridge the gap. And I think that's what we need more of. So that's, again, where I put that on Raven. I put that even on Latson as an experienced player. I see Tessa talking a lot. Joyce needs to talk more too. And Medina herself needs to also get comfortable talking. So everybody needs to talk to make that effective in that starting lineup, especially if they're going to be playing the minutes that they're playing.
I saw a great visual of what you're talking about. And I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but it was a point in the game where Raven and Latson have to be about, I don't know, they're not even probably 6 feet apart, but they throw the ball back and forth to each other.
Yeah, it was like a hot potato pass.
It was like hot potato, and it was like, who's going to take it? So it was like, damn, hey, y'all, what y'all doing here? And it was like, it was just a moment like where it was like, okay, they're trying to figure out who, who's leading this thing right now. Like, who, and I don't know if Raven was trying to say, no, Latson, you're the hot hand right now, you go. Right. And this is if this was, and I want to go back to that moment in the game, but like, no, you go, it's your time. And so, like, Raven has to pick her spots too, like you said, but a lot of this too is Raven figuring out how to direct this traffic, right? And so it's some new traffic that she's directing, and that makes me want to transition to a player that we didn't talk about that I thought one of you guys would have brought up, Rolls Royce Joyce. Joyce Edwards. I felt like last night she showed that she's getting a little bit more comfortable with being the igniter, with starting things off. Like we were talking about, Joyce has to get comfortable with starting. Joyce came out and put 9 up in the first quarter. Like, let's get this thing going. We rolling. I love that from her. There's definitely still some spots where we want to see her grow, but that was one of the things that I was waiting to see, and I'm glad that I'm seeing it earlier here in the season. But just overall, even when the games haven't been going as much as in the way that Joyce wants them to go, even sometimes her body language is like, man, she hates that. I did see a fist pump. I saw a fist pump the other night. The screen was coming, y'all. And matter of fact, if you watch the game, there were 2 fist pumps in the game.
I only saw the one, the and one.
Yeah,
what was the other one?
There's a defensive play where they make a stop, but she double pumps her fist like, yeah, okay, we got that. So, and I'm gonna try to get the minute mark on that. So I saw 2 fist pumps.
Yeah, because I got to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit more demonstrative, like
demonstrative,
demonstrative,
more emoting,
more emoting, and all of that. Like, hey, her coming into her own, like really like owning it, owning her moments. So I like that, but I also just like that even when the shots aren't falling, her ability to turn the page and figure out some other stuff to do. Joyce is still filling up the stat sheet, right? Getting into rebounds. I loved it. One thing about Joyce, every game, there's a play where Joyce is on the ball trying to snatch the ball from somebody, sitting on her butt, trying to take the ball from somebody. Go back. Every game this year, there's been a play like that. Every game
she gets
this
on
year.
The ground. She gets on the ground. Like she'll be on the ground for sure.
Hey, she gets on the ground. What do they call it? The little dolphin dive thing she did the last year. Like, hey, Joyce gonna play. She ain't messing around. So I'm liking that. Her the demonstrative action is coming from her, so the team can see that and feed off of her. I love that she's using her voice a little bit more. I'm seeing her talking, but I also feel like she's also just like leading through her play. Her 9 points came so easy. Her 9 points came so easy. It was just like, okay, y'all, I got this until everybody else figures it out. So I just wanted to call out Rolls Royce, and you got you all's thoughts.
High Life, you want to go?
I mean, honestly, I had her written down on my paper as well too, with the blocks though, as well too. But is she averaging like a block a game? I want to say 2, but I don't want to.
2.3.
Okay,
To be
I
exact.
was right. Okay, I'm gonna give her grace. I believe with Chloe going down, it puts more on her, but I do believe that she can handle it, and she will handle it. So. Not saying she's doing anything wrong these first 2 games or whatnot, or 3 games, my bad. But again, listen. I'm along for the ride with Joyce. I'm just gonna say that. But I'm loving her blocks. Them 2 a game is gonna be big for us. Her play, like if she can continue that coming out strong, that'd be big for us. It really would. But again, it's Joyce. I'm ready. That's all I got to say, honestly.
I'll go next. With Joyce, my expectations for Joyce, coming into the season was to be consistent, and I wanted to see how Joyce was going to weather some of the areas that she struggled with last season. Though we saw her last season, it was like, dang, look, Joyce ain't got no struggle. Ain't nothing wrong with her. She out here, look, she got everything you need. But there were times toward the end of the season where you could kind of see some frustration coming with doubles and things like that. So my expectation for her this season was to be consistent, and she's done that. Even like first game she was in some foul trouble. Okay, and cool. She still came out in her minutes, and she was consistent, and specifically consistent in rebounding. Like, all right, the shots, she'll make some, she'll miss some, whatever. But you want her to rebound the ball. You want her to be the force down low right next to Medina. And I think she's done that. She's doing well running the floor. She's just been, you just want Joyce to be that disruptor. She's just everywhere. And that's kind of what you want and expect from her. At least I do. For her just to be everywhere. She's in everything.
Yeah, that's definitely my expectation of Joyce, is to impact the game and have her fingerprints on it. Your point around Joyce's learning, Joyce has, I don't know if she's been the most affected by Chloe per se, but it kind of feels like it. One, directly, getting into the starting lineup. We don't know who would have been in the starting lineup with Chloe. But then also playing with someone like Medina out there on the court. And I do think at times like they've gotten a little clustered in their spaces. I think they both run to the same location at the same time, or like one has the ball and the other is kind of like in their way. So I just think like that movement piece is something that's probably unique to Joyce. I don't think she's ever played with a 5 like Medina. So I think there's growing pains just on where they like to operate, and when's the right time to do. I think like some high-low passes, we force some of them at times to each other. So that's part of the chemistry that's going to evolve. So I think Joyce has probably been, I think, the most impacted this season because of all those. Because even though Joyce played last season on the court at times with Sanaya or Chloe. She didn't really have a 5 like she has now. So that's also an adjustment for her, and being in the starting lineup, and Chloe's not there, and. So there's a lot on Joyce's shoulders. I too, I question or wonder who's going to be like, who's the person to bring the energy for our starting lineup. And I do think Tess is like kind of it, but Tess is operating on both sides of the ball so much that that's kind of why what I'm about to say about Joyce is really important. I think impacting the game should be more of her success metric than points. And I'm not saying it in a way like points aren't important. They are important. And I'm really glad of what I saw yesterday. Something I didn't say while we were watching, I actually wasn't, it's not her fault. But I really wasn't that excited that she scored the first 9 points or whatever. I thought that by doing that, it actually created an avenue where people were ball watching her a little too much. And at times she was forcing some shots later in the game that she didn't need to force. So I almost feel like she put too much, or I don't know if it was purposely or just the way the game worked out. Because when you're cooking, and I get that. But I don't want it to become a point where she feels like she needs to do it all. She doesn't need to do it all. There's a lot of talent around her that's where the ball moving and popping. I would actually like to see that happen a little bit more than the ball gets stuck and she's like pounding her purse, like, pounding the ball down and getting to the rim. While that's effective, it's not effective for the entirety of the game. And then I think the flow. So I think it's all about balance. So I am happy that she was dominant, to start the game and whatnot. I think for her as a sophomore, again, a reminder, as a sophomore, this is a sophomore who's playing in the post, and like that is huge. And that's really exciting. So it's not, again, this is not solely on Joyce. This is part of the growing pains as a sophomore who has high expectations for herself, who's super competitive. But I think finding that balance of, how do I play off people? How do I create mismatches and make shots easier for myself? I think is also part of it too. I really liked her footwork. She did slow down. But again, the other side of that spectrum is forcing shots. So let's not force. Let's just figure out that chemistry within the flow of the offense a little bit better. And then things I also liked, I really liked her rebounding. That's something I've been harping on about. I felt like she was flying on the court. Like I saw Joyce a lot. She was diving for balls. She was putting her hands, deflecting. She was generally like around the ball often. I think for Joyce, the thing is, how do we still have that energy and intensity when you're not the one leading and scoring? You know what I mean? It kind of feels like sometimes I've noticed her offense fuels the rest of her game. I would like the other parts of her game to fuel her offense, if that makes sense. So that will be the maturation. But again, that's going to come with time and learning. But overall, I thought she had a good game. And I thought in the third quarter is when we were forcing shots collectively as a team. And I thought the ball got stuck the most. That was like the fever pitch of our offense, hence why we only scored 10 points. I do think when she sat and her and Raven came back in the game, I saw more ball movement. I don't know if that was just a coaching adjustment. It seemed like Joyce moved out to the wing and was operating on the 3-point. That whip pass she had into Coe was fire. That was great. So I don't know if it was a matter of sitting and watching and seeing it, or if there was a concerted effort from a coaching standpoint. But regardless, like that's kind of, I think, a little bit more of, if we can move the chess pieces around a little bit more, that makes us even more versatile, that makes us even more dynamic. And so I like that aspect of it. And also, side note, we didn't talk about Gotti, but shout out to Gotti, because I thought she did a really good job too for the role that she needed to play.
Oh, yes.
High Life. I'm sorry, Brittany. High Life, I think you got a wrap soon. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to the conversation?
No, I definitely don't. Shout out to you ladies. I do have to go. I can't wait till Saturday. Everybody in the chat, shout out to y'all. I gotta go. But yeah, that's it. I gotta go.
See ya.
All right.
Bye, Live.
Yeah, looking forward to Saturday. But you were saying about Gotti. I'm sorry, Brittany. I think I cut you off. But
Yeah. She was the one that broke the drought. uh,
Mm-hmm.
Started the fourth quarter. Got the screenshot behind the screen. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she did. She did what you needed her to do. What we needed her to do. Look, we need you to spell the guards 2 minutes. And you need you to just come out and just play in the flow of the game. Don't hunt shots. She was on the boards yesterday. I loved it. I think one thing that I'm interested in is Isla. I noticed
Mm-hmm.
Isla only had 5 minutes. I think it was just a simple, like, hey, just trying to get everyone back on schedule. And it just kind of
I,
fell that Isla didn't play a lot of minutes. Because by the time the fourth hit, well, the drought in the third quarter, trying to get them back on track. Fourth quarter, they're on track. And then she brought in the starting groups to see if the starting group could keep up with the energy that they had, and just to kind of, all right, let's round this game out with y'all continuing what that group in the start of the fourth had to kind of close out
I
the game.
think I think too. Like we're not talking a lot about like Dauda, but I think Dauda has been like solid for us, and
Them
like
puppets is moving.
she's not scoring a whole lot of points, but she has been consistent on I think defense, on being active, on trying to be in the right place, on trying to get to rebounds, on boxing out,
Mm-hmm.
doing all the little things. I think, and it's been keeping her on the floor. Not a lot of points, but impactful. I think, and I don't know if that's keeping Isla and some other people off the floor or tapping into people's time, but I think Dowda's having a good start to the season.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Dowda's been on the boards. She's been on the boards. She had 7 yesterday, 3 offensive rebounds. Yeah. And then there's a couple times there was a couple of them where it was like, all right, ooh, she just might have missed it, but yeah, no, she's been doing what Dawn has asked and needs of her. Because all right, we need somebody to kind of spell Medina some minutes, spell Joyce some minutes. Like we need her for that. We need her energy on the boards. And then yeah, like I'm saying, like the puppies was moving yesterday.
Yeah, I want to see her get a little bit more. Like she's still a little bit. I don't know if it's her hips
Tentative.
or what. A little tentative, a little bit. She on the
Mm-hmm.
run back. Sometimes it's like she just sliding along. It's like, come on, I want you to. I want to see a little bit more of a. I guess a little bit more deliberate deliberateness
Mm-hmm.
on the run back sometimes.
Is
But
it
as
the
far as
run
like
back or is it her play in general?
no, it's when she's running down the court. Sometimes her hips seem tight to me. Sometimes it's like, hey, girl, open up and run. Like I think you can go faster than what you are. Um,
Huh. Why? I guess why why is that something
because I think
you're really
because I
keen
think
on?
if she were, if because I feel like Dowda has the length that if she would really get out and run, she could lead somebody with her hand and finish at the other end with some easy layups.
Okay, gotcha.
That's just what I think. But sometimes it's like, come on, let's go. Come on, let's go.
I'm interpreting that as, I don't know how much of it is her injury, but I'm interpreting that as
Mhm.
tentativeness and not
Okay,
trying to step on people's toes in general.
got you.
So it's interesting that's why I was like, why is that standing out for you? Because to me, I think there's even times where like you'll see she'll like reach out for the ball and then she'll like take her hands back. And I'm like, no, girl, go
Yeah.
get the ball. You the taller one. Like you rip the rebound out of, like, if you got to rip it out of your guard's hands, then do that. But it feels like yeah, it's just a general tentativeness that I'm experiencing from her. I still think she is doing the right, she's still rebounding, she's still doing but there's like little plays here and there you'll see like, oops, sorry, my bad. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like
Yeah.
giving that. And it's just like, girl, you just gotta
And you don't
like,
have to do that.
you don't
Yeah,
have to
Yeah.
do
game
that.
clock,
Just
girl, go.
apologize after the game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't got to apologize in the game. I think when Don has been saying, like, we're a little too nice, like, Dowda's face pops up when I think of that. Like,
Yeah.
Dowda, Medina at times. Like, and I think just sometimes you just, like, yeah, F it. Like, rip the ball out of your guard's hands and apologize to them in the huddle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it will be fine.
Mhm.
Like, the rebound is yours. Like, you got to rip it. So that's what I'm seeing with Dowda, and I think there's just like a couple times where it's just, yeah, just general tentativeness is resulting in, I think there's even more rebounds available for her. Not necessarily stealing it from your guard, but from the other team at times.
Mm-hmm.
At times, I think the ball bounces on the ground when it shouldn't, because it's like, oh, I see my teammate here. Like, I'm going to let them get it. It's like, no, girl, you get it. You know what I mean? Like, just
Mm-hmm.
general, that theme is what I'm seeing with Dowda. So I think there's more gear she can tap into.
Hey,
So,
one last thing I just looked at. Hey, shout out to Tanaya. Tanaya had 8 rebounds yesterday.
Yeah, she was a beast on the board. That's why I was like, I know people want her to score more, but I do think Tanaya's like, she's just trying to figure it out. And I think that's the
Yeah.
challenge that we have right now. I actually almost wish, I don't know who needs to come back, but like somebody needs to say something, or like we just need to be like a little bit more intentional. And I think like that will help everybody kind of like fold in, or like, or maybe Dawn needs to be the one to say like, you're like this, you know. It just seems like everybody's trying to not step on other people's toes, and they're all for valid
Mm-hmm.
reasons. And Tanaya to me is the one that I actually give her the most grace for not being aggressive, because partially that's what she came here for, because we know she can be aggressive. She's trying not to be. She needs to find a better balance, but then other people just need to be more aggressive too. So like we all kind of need to meet in the middle a little. So
Yeah.
that's part of the growing pains.
so are we ready to
Yeah.
are we ready
Absolutely.
to talk? Are we ready to talk Battle of SC?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So okay, because we are a responsible group here. Before we move into that, I do want to ask. We had Maddie suspended this last game.
Mm-hmm.
We saw the presser, uh, doubtful, back for this next game. How are we feeling about going in with 9 into this game? And then just thoughts around that. If there's anything you want to say, I don't have much to say about it other than we'll watch it play out. Um,
Yeah.
and it's being evaluated on the daily basis. But
Mhm.
you know, does the fact that we're going in 9 instead of nine deep instead of 10 deep, does that change anything? And how do you feel about it?
Next man
I'll,
up.
yeah. Just to kind of put the baby on the table, let's talk the Maddie thing. Like I'm with you. I don't have a whole lot, but to in all fairness, um, I do think it's worth saying, like, we don't know everything, right? There's a lot of speculation of what did or didn't occur. I think just kind of as an overarching concept, like, this is this is Dawn's call. So if Dawn decided to suspend her, like, I'm with that. Like, I did a whole commish cooks. Like, there's a reason, right? I don't do that for an average person. Like, Dawn has exhibited and shown and demonstrated her character enough that I am willing to say that, you know, it's valid. Like, we know Dawn is anybody who read her book or has caught snippets of her book, she's very principled in her discipline. So if Dawn has clearly laid out certain rules and regulations, and those things got broken, then you kind of, that's what accountability is, right? And that's why I personally respect Dawn more than just like the coach of the team I cheer for. I think she's very principled. She believes in accountability. She believes in growing these young women, not just as basketball players or what they can do for her on the court, contrary to popular belief. She gonna do the thing that she feels is part of kind of what's gonna grow them up as young women in society. So if it's being held accountable for something maybe that half the people feel like is superficial or stupid or not valid, like, it is what it is. Like, it's, you know what I mean? So at least that's my viewpoint from what I know thus far. If more information comes out, I reserve the right to change, but I'm going to have that stance until something different comes out. So with that said, or anybody want to react to that?
Oh no, I don't look. I trust Dawn. If Dawn suspended her, Dawn suspended her. She ain't say nothing crazy. She's keeping it in house. She said it's a day-to-day thing.
Mm-hmm. And it's up to Maddie, right? So
Exactly.
hopefully whatever occurred, Maddie, her, I'm sure going to sit down, have a conversation. And whatever comes of that comes of that. So hopefully, whatever it is, Maddie reflects on it, and whatnot. What I will say, which kind of brings us back to the actual, or Auntie, anything you want to add?
No, I don't have much. I don't have anything to say about it.
Okay.
We don't know. Just like with the Josh situation, we don't know. Whatever happened. There are, again, the one thing that I'll say is that people love to say it's a free country. It's a free country as long as you understand that you pay with consequences. There's a consequence for every choice that you make.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that I'll tell you about me is, and young people, being your friend is a distant second. My responsibility in your life as an adult with a young person is to make sure that I keep you safe, I keep you healthy, and I try to make you the best, most accountable, responsive person that I can make you be. Other than being your friend is a distant second, I don't give a damn about being your friend. I'm not here to be not one young person's friend. I'm here to help them try to be the best that they can be, and I think that's the approach that Don takes, and I think that's the approach that you have to take with young people. We didn't throw Maddie out with the bathwater. It's up to her. You want to walk back through the door? Come back through the door. We here. You mad? We love you. Come on in. But if you choose not to, we will still love you from afar. Like whatever it is that's going on, you know what I mean? We figured that out. But it's a day-to-day thing.
Mm-hmm.
I am sure that it has been clearly communicated to Maddie what the expectations are, and it's up to her, to make those decisions. And we've been young, you know what I'm saying? We've been young, and we all didn't have to make a quiet call in the middle of the night to somebody to say, "Hey, you know what? You was right. I learned that lesson." And that's that. And you go from there. So that's all I'll say. Wishing the best for that young lady.
Definitely. So that's what I said. Like, we don't know, but I stand, if Don felt it was appropriate to suspend her, I'm with it, until something comes out different. And if it doesn't come out, I'm still with Don. Like, Don's been here a long time. Don knows what's going on, and there's a reason Don did it. Don don't do this stuff just for kicks and giggles. But that brings me to the game itself, the question that you asked about how do we feel going with 9? I mean, not ideal, right? Like, the more the merrier, especially at our guard position. I think that's where we're the lightest, the lightest in the butt, as they would say. You have Agot, who played pretty well. How many minutes, Brittany, do you have that? I can look it up if you did.
Yes, I got it. How many minutes did Agot play? 19.
Yeah, 19. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and that's coming off of, a twisted ankle, which luckily she was able to recover from, so that's great. Maddie had knocked her knee and then was out. We're just like light in the guard before the suspension. We're just light in the guard room. And so from that standpoint, and especially knowing that where our defense and switches, which I feel a little bit differently about, but I understand what people are saying. But like the switching and stuff like that, it just is causing challenges on the back end, which is kind of another reason why, like, I'm with you, Brittany. Like, I think when everything just came out in the wash, Isla just ended up getting a lot fewer minutes. I don't think it was anything in particular she was doing. I still got to go back and watch one more time and see during her minutes if there was anything. But that's where we probably need Isla a little bit more, maybe for this matchup. I think Don will see that and probably, hopefully, talk to her about either if there was something she wasn't doing or just like a, hey, my bad. But who knows? Yeah.
And I'm glad you said see Isla. And not to cut you off, but I think that this is the game that we, Isla and both Isla and Makira both have a chance to kind of really shine. They know Jazzy very well, right? This is when we should see them kind of take the floor, right? Didn't they just spend the summer? Didn't Isla just play All-Star with Jazzy? Both of them, right? Are they both? I don't know.
The McDonald's All-American. They got one because she played in America, so technically she would have been a McDonald's All-American. But yeah, they were in the All-American game,
Jordan Brand Classic.
and then they did Jordan Brand, and they did the Nike Summit where it was World versus US.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping that we get to see, especially since this is more like a non-conference preseason, what I call, these young people actually match up with each other. Now, I'm sure we'll see, as the starters, we'll see the starters out there. But I hope to see Isla and Agat, versus Yazzie. I hope to see some of that matchup.
Yeah, I think they'll be on the court at some points together.
Just
now,
like I'm expecting to see Joyce on that floor with Kennedy, since they know each other very well. Not that they'll match up with each other, but
right.
Mhm.
They'll be on the floor at some point with each other. I think to that point, that's where, in my mind, hopefully whatever is transpiring with Maddie, there's also an element of like being there for your team, right?
Mhm.
So hopefully whatever's going on, she sees that because she could be she's needed. And I do think, like, you work it out. People have played with 9 before, and sometimes even when you have 12 people on the bench, 3 people don't play, so it's not like that isn't a thing. But it would be ideal to have more people and just more bodies that can help spell people fighting over screens and things like that. That's where that is missed. But they know they have 9 going in, so you have 9. So everybody be ready. Everybody be prepared. Everybody study the scout, because you don't know when your number will be called. As compared to maybe if we had a full bench available for us. So I think everybody knows that going in. So be prepared.
Mhm. Yeah, I expect this game to be. I expect Southern Cal to bring it, just like they took it to NC State. You let them hang around. They'll.
Y'all being too demure for me.
Why are we being demure?
You
demure for me.
You asked us,
because
I just like it would be nice.
Because Southern Cal is popping off like they won this one game, and now all of a sudden, here they come. Like, come on, let's come on, cut it out.
Look,
I don't see it. 9, 8, 10, whatever. I don't see that they have enough. So the idea that they can come in and just, I don't know, shut down Tessa. Come on, who said? And that's just it. That's all we got. Stop it. The false confidence is what got me hype about Saturday. And I mean, I know we got another game that we played our game already. And I don't think they play a game until they play us again. So
correct.
I'm ready to get to it. Saturday can't get here fast enough. I am ready to get to tip the ball off. That's how y'all feel? Because I don't know if the team feel like that, but their fan base is taking me out.
Look.
Yeah, the fan base, I think, is a little
delusional.
Yeah.
Delusional.
By the way, I just checked. NC State only played 8. So,
okay.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
it'll be fine.
It will be fine. Like, just be ready. I just think from an internal South Carolina standpoint, like, Maddie, it's time to be a leader. Like, leadership is all encompassing, right? So, evaluate that, move accordingly. But it is a team construct, right? And that's part of, showing up and being there for your team. You want to be available for your team. In absence of what we know to be true, which is she's doubtful to play, then you're prepared to go in with 9. So be prepared to go in with 9. Now, if we want to talk about now the game itself, as Brittany articulated when we talked about North Carolina earlier, I think there were a lot of things that North Carolina didn't execute down the stretch that would have had them with the W. So there were missed free throws. We talked about that. Shot selection was questionable. Lack of adjustment by Westmore and a lot of turnovers. And so I do think, from our standpoint, our defense is stronger. Even though it's still a work in progress from what I would like us ultimately to be, it's still a strong defense. I think we have a lot of versatility. We have people who are familiar with one another. And then I just think at the end of the day, our size as well. I think their size, you could argue, is in certain spots. Our size is in another spot. But we have shown that our interior scoring, our points in the paint, are pretty strong. I do think we have a really tenacious on-ball defender in Raven. So I think that will also cause some disruption for them as well and what they like to get into. And then I do think AGOT, I really like the way Gotti's progressing. I really like her confidence. I like her finding her shots. She's been shooting the 3 ball pretty well. Tessa, I think, has been doing it on both sides of the ball. I think her midi is super, super smooth, super strong. She can get to it. It's very hard to guard. That's very hard to guard. You can put length on her, but I think you put length on her, you can draw Tessa out and you can throw it in the paint, and then you lose kind of that advantage there. So I think there's a lot of things we can also do to counter. And I like the way Joyce has been playing. Need to come with that energy regardless of what's happening on the offensive end. And then I think Latson is just a big gamer. You know what I mean? There's just some people who come alive when the lights are bright, and I just think that's Latson. And so I think that's something that we also have in our arsenal.
Yeah, I think like this game, the paint is in your favor, as in most games. This game, the paint is in your favor. The paint is your friend. Yeah, take it to them in the paint. They're a little light in the butt. They're a little light in the butt down there. So USC should be on the boards like I expect. Like NC State out rebounded them. I expect USC to out rebound them without a question. Turnovers, I'm not really concerned about turnovers. This team they don't turn the ball over a lot anyway. Yeah, I just move the ball. Move the ball.
Move the ball.
Yeah, don't get caught with the stuff that NC State was doing. Move the ball. Because even in that game, NC State had more success when they were moving the ball. Move the ball. Don't just let them just, all right, we're just gonna stand here and not do anything because you wanna dribble the air out the ball. Yeah, don't do it. Force them to have to be in rotation. The more you force them to rotate, the more mistakes that will show. So yeah, rotation. I expect USC to come out with an emphasis on getting to the paint. To let them know, hey, we can get in the paint whenever we want to, whether we want it through our bigs or through our guards that just want to get to the paint. And then I expect from there to see some inside out. I expect them to be sharper defensively than NC State was. I don't expect them to come out with some crazy old idea of, yeah, let's let London Jones shoot threes. We're just gonna go under the screen. Yeah, I don't expect that at all. I expect them to, and especially for them to let London Jones know, yeah, we're not letting you run the show over here. You're not gonna get what you want when you want. This is what I'm gonna give you, and you gonna take what I'm gonna give you. Yeah, I expect them to make Southern Cal feel the pressure. Make them feel the pressure, because with the pressure, there will be more mistakes. Southern Cal has been prone to shooting threes just to shoot them, because they don't. At times they'll be like, they don't have anything, so they'll just throw up threes. And I expect them to come out doing the same thing. Whether they'll find success later on in the game, that's up to them. Yeah, but I expect for them to put the pressure on Southern Cal, try to get some turnovers, and yeah, just to let them know, yeah, we're not NC State. I know y'all felt confident about beating NC State, but we are not the same. There's levels to this. That's what I expect from this game.
Okay, so they got Jazzy, they got Kennedy. After that, who was the next one up for that team? Any ideas, or are you kind of waiting?
Jones.
Like, surprise.
Jones.
Yeah.
How do you
London.
bench? See, I guess my thing with London is like I felt like London, for us at least, was a little fool's gold. Like London was 5 for 5. I'm not gonna take that away from her. You got to go out there and you got to shoot those 5 threes and make it. But you were not a part of our scout that game. I felt like we really went out to just get some work on the bigs and to see this is the best 6-7 we're gonna see, and we never made an adjustment on London. Like London, man, listen. Once the length hit London, and it's not a big that we're worried about. London, who are you? We're gonna find out. I don't know. I'll be surprised though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can't do what NC State did and just give her, you know what I mean? Like, that's not an effective strategy. So I'm not saying like she's going to go out there, like, all right, jack up your shots, but let's have some hands in people's faces. Like, you can't just leave her
definitely.
alone. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
That, and then I expect them to force Jazzy to go right. I'm not letting you go left. I'm not giving it to you. But I also want them to, I hope, which I'm pretty sure that they're going to put an emphasis on, is yes, take away her left hand, but also don't just open it. Don't open it. Open your gate all the way up. So she's just going straight to the lane. Because that's one thing that NC State did end up doing that got her into finding a rhythm. It's like, okay, I'm taking away your left, but you're opening up the middle of the lane.
Right. Don't overcorrect.
Exactly. So yeah, like put the pressure on the left, but also know that, hey, yeah, I'm not you're gonna have to beat me because I'm not just gonna open up my gate and I'm moving my feet. So you're gonna have to figure out something, but I'm not gonna just let you just dribble right on by me going right to just go get an easy layup.
We all heard the question asked about this game in the presser, right?
I don't recall. You know, Debbie. In the presser. Oh, yeah.
What was the question? Oh, about the marquee names and how it ain't the marquee name, the marquee people ain't there.
Yeah. Do you think the game has lost some of its? I guess is it less? Is it
My answer is like Don. I have not given it 1 ounce of thought. It does not change.
That was a weird question.
It's a weird question.
Weird.
Okay, we've known since Juju told us that she wasn't coming back, and we knew since so-and-so transferred. So why is it now a thing? It's still on Fox. Fox is still promoting it. They're still putting South Carolina versus Southern Cal on the marquee thing. So I don't get it. Unless you're telling me Fox is now not going to they're not going to broadcast it? No, they're still broadcasting it. So what does it matter? And actually, if anything, it's now a top 10 matchup that I did not previously anticipate to be a top 10 matchup.
It is
that was the bright spot that you gave me about this them moving up in the rankings.
Yeah, they went up to number 8.
This is a top 10 matchup. All right. So who asked a question about a top 10 matchup like that? That don't make sense.
This definitely can have a great impact on our net rankings. It's definitely a bonus to our net, when we walk in the Southern Cal and take care of business.
Absolutely.
You play who's on your schedule. So if they weren't a top 10 matchup, we still were gonna play them. If they fell out of top 25, we still were gonna play them. Now they just happen to be in the top 10. Cool.
Yeah, it's just like that type of question. I was like, that sounds like a question you need to go ask like Fox in them. Sounds like a Fox question. The promoter question.
But they love to ask Don these questions. I bet no one asked Lindsey Gottlieb that question.
Can you guys give some historic context for around the Battle of SC, right? The battle, like I don't like the reporter asked about the marquee name. This is the Battle of SC. Can you all explain, like from your perspective, especially having lived in the Palmetto and attended SC, those kind of things? Can you guys speak to the Battle of SC and what it means and what those letters mean in the region?
Yeah. So I think just even on the argument, right, and the correction of SC and who we're referring to. So Southern Cal actually sued the University of South Carolina because at one point they were using USC or SC? It does matter, but I can't remember which one it is. But they were using either the S and the C, and then SoCal was like, well, that's ours. And so they sued South Carolina. So then I think South Carolina reverted, either they were using the USC and then had to go to SC, or vice versa. But then it's ironic because now people want to use USC. So like, it's actually a legal battle. It had been a legal battle in court around who had the right to either SC or USC. So that's one. And then two, I think, yes, if you say SC or USC, maybe a portion of the country thinks of Southern Cal, but for those who are familiar or have been in South Carolina or SEC or previously the ACC, when South Carolina was there, South Carolina has rights to the SC moniker as well. And so, especially because one's a state and one is just a made up region in California, like Southern Cal. Okay, cool. South Carolina is actually a state, but that's one. So there's some legal jabs in there, as well as just kind of the colloquial who has the right to SC. But I think either way, this is a good opportunity and a good marketing opportunity to put elevate some schools or some programs or some individuals as kind of a way to elevate the women's game. So even though that idiot reporter asked that question to Don, what he should have really asked was about, when this was originally constructed, how does that still stand, even though those individuals aren't here, in the minds of some? Like, he could have phrased it much better than he did, which is why the question was dumb. But it's an opportunity to continue to grow the game, especially for two schools that really don't cross paths, especially in their conference, as their conference is currently constructed. So it's a great opportunity to elevate the game and have a home and a home, or quote unquote home and a home. And so from that standpoint, I think just people are excited to see high quality basketball, and shout out to both universities for making it happen, because some people refuse to play high quality talent.
I got to throw this out there because I'm seeing this comment. South Carolina was an established university before Cali was even thought about.
Correct.
I don't know.
1801. That's a factual statement. 1801.
So there's that. It's like, there's also that piece of it that I've heard people argue about, is just the historical piece. Like, how could it be yours when we were already here?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of giving Christopher Columbus type. But I don't know.
Yeah, I discovered you, even though you insisted. Exactly. Yeah. That's why I was like, that's why I just correct people on who's USC, and especially in the game of, and if you want to have that argument, football, whatever, still rolls eyes. But in the games of women, in women's basketball, yeah, we had Cheryl. We've had Lisa. We've had some greats, but don't get it twisted with the recent success South Carolina has had in this century. Who has the rights to the name. So nonetheless, it's fun. On a serious note, I do wish Juju would have been healthy. It would have made it, definitely more exciting. Hopefully next year, should everything go to plan, there will be an opportunity in South Carolina to see that. But regardless, I'm excited for women's basketball, as we are looking for good marquee games. That's one of them that's coming. So
think about that Saturday night, 9:00 on Fox.
Look, y'all ain't hear them on that during the game? They said they are confident that Juju will be back with them next season. They are confident.
That's great.
Right. I think it's easy for them to be confident, because how confident are we that there's a WNBA season next year?
Exactly. Well, that's why they can be confident. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me either way, because
Juju is coming to the dub, whether it's next year or the year after. Like, she's on her way, right?
Yeah,
like,
she'll probably be the number one pick. There's a high likelihood she's number one.
We know all of this. We know all of this. But would love to see her in South Carolina for that Battle of SC. number 2. But I hope that it's something that continues on after Juju graduates, because then we are talking about the growth of women's basketball, and we are talking about still being able to see continued marquee players come through. Because I don't even think they're the only 2 marquee players that would have been participating in the game.
They wouldn't have, so it didn't really make sense anyway. But for the whole Caitlin Clark is playing. See how the CBA is going to affect superstars like Caitlin Clark. It's like, unfortunately for people who are casuals or don't know anything else, like, people feel like they have to keep doing stuff like that, when in actuality, to grow the game actually means you don't just anchor on one person. And when they get hurt, as we saw this past W season, and unfortunately with Juju, then what? You know what I mean? That's why you don't anchor on just one individual. You anchor on the totality and try to elevate other names and things like that, because it actually gives you a contingency in case something happens, that you're not just anchoring on one person. But maybe one day the marketers will learn that lesson.
I also think low-key it's them being lazy, because they don't want to have to keep up. Yeah, they don't want to have to keep up with marketing a group, multiple people. So it's too much work. Why not just pour all the money into one person? Why not just pour it into a group of people? Wow. So I would think if you put the money into a group of people, you're gonna make more money because it's multiple people.
Diversification.
It gives more room for error, just in case you miss on one person. There's still more. Like, come on now.
Haven't learned that lesson yet. But,
no.
So, are you expecting a high-scoring game? Do you have a feeling about scoring? Do you have a feeling about who's going to have a breakout, MVP of the game, any of that stuff?
No. I mean, on one hand, I prefer lower scoring games, because that means we're playing defense.
Yeah, I think it'll be a high pace. I think the pace is going to be.
Yeah, the pace is going to be high, but the pace for NC State, and that's the irony. Brittany, give it to me again. What that score was?
That score
wasn't it like 68-67 or 69-68? Which one?
It was 69-68.
And what did we just score against Clemson?
We just scored against Clemson. 65-37.
Like, it's just so funny to me, because it's like, I wouldn't argue either one of those teams was playing exceptional defense, and the score was still in the 60s, and one could still argue it was high pace. No.
Yes. Let me look at the possession count. How many possessions did they have in that?
Well, they shot horribly, but while you look that up, so if those things are true, right? Let's go back to truce, and then South Carolina only scored 65. You could argue, okay, those were ranked teams, fine, whatever. But we, quote unquote, had a horrible game, scored 65, held the other team to the 30s. But 2 top 25 teams played each other, are supposed to both be high scoring, high paced teams, and they both scored in the 60s. What's the difference? And we had a horrible game, which is like a quote unquote horrible game. We didn't have our best game offensively, and we still scored 65. So one is to surmise, if we have a better offensive showing, won't we score more than 65?
Yeah.
I mean, don't surmise. Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's hard for
last
people.
week you want.
But you know what I mean?
This week you want them to surmise. Come on.
I had them pondering a couple weeks.
Yeah, you got to ponder. You got to ponder upon. We got to bring them in slowly. Got to bring them in slowly, commish. They're not ready. Surmise. They're not ready for that yet.
The Southern Cal,
you are correct.
The Southern Cal NC State game possession was 76 and 71 respectively, in terms of possessions, and then SC versus Clemson was 58 and 61 possessions. So they did have that pace was
They were higher pace, and we still
Yeah.
scored the same amount of points. No, like this is what I mean. Sometimes people just they just want to. I said it in Commish Cooks. People just want to use South Carolina as the whipping post, and all you're telling me is we're the standard. And I get it. Like I wasn't super happy with our game, but there were things to glean and to take. I guess we can't glean either. There were things to glean and take out of that you can actually carry forward, and the things we need to work on. So for me. I'm not, the sky is not falling. Like we just watched quote unquote one of the best games of the season. And Brittany, while you're at it, do you mind looking at the Tennessee North Carolina game?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. All I'm saying is like, all right, defense wasn't played. So which one's gonna give? You know what I mean? Like I don't know if we're going to be playing at their pace. We'll be playing a faster pace, but I don't think we're going to be playing at their pace. And then they're not going to be able to play at their pace, and they're going to have to play in the half court more. So which one do you want to anchor on?
Yeah. So the Tennessee and NC State game, 77 and 76 possessions. But
the final score was what?
The final score of that game was 77-80. And then here's the funny part. They both shot, Tennessee shot 39%, NC State shot 39.5%. And then the NC State versus Southern Cal game, Southern Cal shot 36.8%. And then guess the percentage that South Carolina shot yesterday.
That percentage?
No, they shot 44% yesterday.
We did have 44.8
yesterday.
We were in the paint more. Yeah, we don't shoot as many threes. Sorry. What did NC State shoot their last game?
We shot well from 3 too, though. What did we shoot from 3?
Did.
Like 5 and 9.
Yeah, we didn't take as many threes.
We were very efficient from 3.
Yeah.
We were very efficient from 3. I liked our 3-point shooting.
NC State shot 39.4% against Southern Cal.
You shot a higher percentage and still lost the game. God. Okay.
Literally.
I do think it's interesting. I want to throw this out there real quick because I do think this is interesting that this was an opportunity for us to be exclusive at 9:00 on Saturday night on Fox. Why are they running the UCLA game at the exact same time?
UCLA what? Men's, women's,
women,
football,
women. UCLA women's hoops. It plays at 9, just like us.
Oh, maybe
they play USF.
USF at UCLA, I assume so.
At UCLA.
Man, that man really gave them a tough schedule and dipped.
That's wild though. It was just like to me, this was a good night for just women's basketball. Like you didn't need that game at 9:00 on this night. That was just I don't know.
Does it have them on what channel? Do you see that or no?
They're on ESPN. Something like ESPN.
That's part of the reason. Unfortunately,
but
as compared to the W, there's not like an overarching board that's actually trying to be strategic, which is why it makes it worse on the W that they do that.
But I do. Oh that's true. But there is another game on this day that I want to ask you guys about before we get out of here. I think we're going to learn a lot about Notre Dame on this Saturday as well. Do you have thoughts about the Notre Dame Michigan matchup? Now that's a 4:00. That's a 4:00 NBC game, and I'm tuning in. I am tuning in because everybody keeps saying Notre Dame is better than we think. I think Michigan will be a good test or no?
So what's funny is Notre Dame's better than we think, but the pollsters dropped them.
Oh, listen, we could talk about the pollsters because Ole Miss got dropped too. Teams that got dropped.
I understand. They're not the only ones. I just am confused by the logic or the disconnect, the logical inconsistencies. But okay, fine. Notre Dame is, but I just think it's funny that people.
They dropped them 3 spots. Notre Dame, they dropped them 3.
And I don't understand why, because they blew out the people they played. No,
they did.
Which is what LSU did, but LSU didn't drop. And Maryland had a tight game with Georgetown and didn't move at all.
They went
up one. Oh no, they went up one. They went up one?
Yes, Maryland's up one.
Yeah, Maryland moved up one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just inconsistent, but whatever. And I'm not even like individual, like you could argue, like, yeah, they didn't have Schmeichel, Breeze still out, like they didn't want to drop them. That's fine. But then why are you moving other people who also won and won in convincing fashion? But whatever.
Make it make sense.
You
Mhm.
can't. The question about Notre Dame, I tried to watch Notre Dame versus Chicago State on
Mhm.
like a accelerated rewatch. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna hold you. It just didn't hold my attention.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see their matchup versus Michigan. I think
Mhm.
the reason why I didn't hold my attention is because I already know what Hannah's gonna give you, and
Mhm.
against competition like that, I can't really there's I can't infer what that means. You know what I mean? For everybody else there, like when you're
Mhm.
not playing
Mhm.
high competition, the other people are the people who I have questions about. It's not Hannah. So
Of course.
therefore, I'm watching it and I'm kind of like, So we'll see. You know what I mean? Like I'm really being honest. Like it's not even like shade towards them. It's just like this is
No,
Chicago
I
State you're
get it.
doing this against. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to take from this.
Yeah.
Um, People are excited about Prosper. Okay, I'm interested to see versus Michigan.
I'm
We
interested to see
know
versus that lit. Michigan could go 6 foot and up across the board.
right,
Six
and
one, maybe 6'2" across the board.
Day Jesus didn't really move me when she was at Duke when we played her. So
Mhm.
okay, we'll see what she looks like within the system over time. That's kind of just like my overall
Okay.
take on Notre Dame is like
What about KK Bransford? Like, hey, who are you? Like, you're a senior. It's time for us to know now. What's going on, KK?
Yeah, they'll have a. We'll find out who Notre Dame is this week and next week because they play Michigan on Saturday and then they play they play Southern
Southern
Cal
Cal. Yeah.
on the 21st. So yeah,
I asked about one player in the commission. Like, you stop breathing.
Who?
What?
Me?
Yeah, I was like, what? KK, who are you? What are you gonna do? You went. What did you call it? The Beyonce challenge? What you call it?
Mute. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um,
There's nothing. I had nothing to add. That
okay.
wasn't a
Okay.
true mute challenge. That
But
was just a.
I thought that she came in a high ranking player in the college hoops. Am I tripping?
She did.
Okay.
I don't
Do
have
we
as
think?
I don't have the same. Well, maybe I should do some research. I wonder if I would have the same smoke for her as like a Donovan.
Okay, I
I
just
think she.
wondered, did she end
I
up in the
think
wrong
she's.
program?
That's a great
Uh,
question.
yeah, I wonder. But I am interested to see Ayana Moore, what she adds. But they seem like a very guard heavy team.
They are.
They
They
don't have a
are.
lot of size. They
They
don't
are.
have one person listed on their team as a center. So I'm interested to really see how they go. When I say it's a lot of height starting with five, I see a lot of fives over here. So I'm concerned. They got some 6'3", some 6'4s, but I don't know. Even though they are upperclassmen, I don't know that they can carry a team. They would be teams. They would be people that I would be looking like, okay, you got some kind of like veteran leadership to come off the team to help us not lose the game. Like they won't throw it away. But I don't know that they have like upperclassmen that are really going to step in here and go win a game for them. When I'm looking at these names, and I'm not bashing the kids, but eesh, I don't know. The other thing is she got to get some recruits in here. It's a
Well,
very
she does.
senior junior.
She has like 5 of the top 20 something or what. Like she has the class coming in next year for Notre Dame is at least highly ranked. We'll see what that actually translates into. Is it next year or the year after? Whatever.
I
This
think
signing
next year.
period. Yeah, this signing period.
Yeah.
She has 5 like that have all committed. I don't know the latest and greatest, but I think she either had 4 or 5. She has a sizable class coming.
Y'all know what's crazy is like after last season, I swore there was rumblings about Ivy,
About
about them.
About Ivy.
Yes, about them. Like, hey, we might be telling you to get up out of here. We might be giving you your papers.
I don't know if there were, well, how do I say it? Yeah, I heard it, but I didn't know if it was more people calling for it, or by people, I mean like non Notre Dame domers, whatever they're called,
Hmm.
calling for it, or if it was actually the call was coming from inside the house. So I don't know. I don't know, but I heard people say it, but it wasn't clear to me if that was actually how Notre Dame felt.
Yeah, I was wondering that. I was like, Interesting. I was like, I know people was talking. I ain't heard a lot about it. Like, yeah, I need to get up out of there. Yeah. I was like, okay, is that how y'all feel? Is that how Notre Dame feels? Because the way that Notre Dame feels right now, it's just feels like, yeah, she gonna be there for a minute. She gonna be there for a minute.
It's hard to move off Ivy because Ivy was part of their championship, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And came down, and she has what's her name, sister, Mayberry.
Michaela. Yeah, Michaela.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she's on staff. And then people who came from Moffitt's staff. Moffitt thinks highly of Ivy, so that was like wasn't that her like? I don't know if it was her pick per se, but it felt like Ivy and Moffitt were pretty locked in on that one. So I just think they're going to have a hard time moving on from her, given that dynamic. And I think for me, someone like that, while I do question some of her coaching decisions, and again, that's another guard view, right? That's very heavy guards. My question there is, or what it would take is like a clear gap / you're not being able to recruit, and clearly she can still recruit. So I feel like that gives her more time. And then if those recruits are not showing up and showing out on the court, then you can start questioning. But I think honestly, these ESPN rankings are saving coaches because no one really knows how to evaluate talent, and even the rankings, as we've seen over time, are a little but it's saving coaches because then you can be like, look, I brought this in, either this person got hurt or like whatever, or I supplemented with the portal. So I think it's kind of saving them a little bit. It gives them it allows them some grace, because if you're recruiting the talent, then at least that's one portion of it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's definitely that, and the other fact is they don't just flat out suck.
Correct.
Like sometimes it's hard to fire a coach because they don't flat out suck. If they flat out suck, it's easy to fire them. But they don't flat out. And
also, how many did Moffitt win in her tenure? 1?
Yeah.
Or was it 2?
I
guess it would have been 2, right? Have they won 2? They won with Jackie and them, really Enrique, Jackie, and then one with Ivy when she was there. So it would have been 2, right?
Let me check on that.
Check too.
Yeah, I'm about to let me get out my Googles.
01 and 18.
Yep.
Yeah, so those are the 2.
And she's been a part of both of them. It's hard to move her.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you kind of can't, because even Moffitt was there a very long time and she only won 2. She didn't win with Skylar and Jewel. They didn't win.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just, unless it's like so egregious, I don't see how you're gonna get rid of her. And again, she's an alum. She's still bringing in talent. They're still getting, they still, and they're having success in the W for whatever it's, whatever you want to say. The guards who have come to Notre Dame have had success in the W. We'll see what Hannah does. Sony clearly has. You can't really you can have your issues with her, but if you actually look at it, it's kind of like, I don't really see a case for firing. Like, can you argue they under-delivered? Sure, but it's not like she's fallen off.
Here's the other part. Okay, you ready to fire them, but who are you hiring? That's always a question. People are like, yeah, I got to fire them. Okay, you want to fire them, but who are you hiring? Who's the hire?
And Notre Dame is very particular in its brand, so I just don't. I don't see it, but you never know.
Never know. This is the truth. Well, I mean, we got exciting basketball coming up for the rest of this week, and then on Saturday. You ladies have anything before we get ready to wrap this up?
Nope, that's it.
No.
I appreciate y'all pulling up and doing a recorded show with us. We will be back soon with a live show. Be on the lookout. But we definitely want to make sure we keep bringing you all the content that you have come to love here at Baseline Brunch. Ladies, I appreciate y'all. Brittany, Kamish, High Life. Y'all know what it is. Until next time, y'all stay tuned. Talk soon. We out.